for the third video in our series of virtual fireside chats with SEC Acting Chair Allison Herren. I'm Martha Legg Miller, Director of the SEC's Office of the Advocate for Small Business Capital Formation, and we appreciate you joining us again today as we explore topics of importance during National Entrepreneurship Week. Acting Chair Lee, diversity and inclusion have been a key priority for you long before you were acting chair. Can you talk about some of the ways that you think diversity and inclusion at the intersection of entrepreneurship and access to capital matter?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That's a very important question. You know, when we talk about diversity and inclusion at a basic level, we're just talking about how to avoid excluding large and valuable segments of our population from the corporate talent pool, from the entrepreneurial pool, and from the investor and capital raising pool. So whatever the context, there can be no justification for the arbitrary exclusion of large segments of our population, and why would we want to limit ourselves in that way? So when it comes to access to capital, though, we know there are limitations, and we know there are significant disparities in access to capital for women and people of color. We know at least some of the likely causes, which are a persistent wealth gap between minority and non-minority communities that can prevent minority entrepreneurs from investing their own capital in their business or using it as collateral. There are disparities in lending practices that can hinder or discourage minority and women founders from seeking or obtaining loans. And of course, there's unconscious bias in investment behavior, among other potential factors. And we know also that these problems can be compounded in circumstances of financial stress, and we're seeing that now. Small businesses are especially at risk during a downturn. Credit may be more difficult to obtain across the board, and women and communities of color will disproportionately suffer the effects of an economic downturn. And so we need to be more vigilant than ever in thinking about how to address these issues. I think too often we take a kind of rising tide lifts all boats approach in our efforts to facilitate capital raising, and we fail to consider the unique challenges that face particular communities. And simply taking steps to enhance capital formation, which is good, but it does nothing to really address the underlying reasons why equal opportunities for access to capital still elude so many talented and hardworking minority and women entrepreneurs. So it's crucial that we listen to these voices from these communities and that we amplify those voices, and we take the time to educate ourselves and inform our regulatory approach about the systemic and structural issues these communities face. Some ideas that I've had are potentially to pull our Office of Minority and Women Inclusion in and give them an opportunity to participate in our rulemaking process so that they can offer their thoughts and expertise on how our rules may impact underrepresented populations. We could also consider requiring our Division of Economic and Risk Analysis to better incorporate diversity considerations into their economic analysis at a more granular level, because I think it's important that we think, how can we systematically incorporate diversity considerations into all of the policy choices that we make? So I really appreciate the engagement of your office and your team, Martha, on these issues. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And you know that they are absolutely critical to our office. They are core to our mission, making sure that we not only look at what are the unique challenges that are faced by the underrepresented founders and investors that we work with, but also shining a spotlight on the success stories and learning from where there are wonderful bright spots. It's something we are committed to continuing to do. And I appreciate you using your voice and influence to really drive conversations on these important topics and to drive towards solutions. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.